Hello, everyone out in internet radio land around the world. One more show again, all night long with the Fox, syndicated on Internet Radio Dantata. This is your host, the Fox, for about the next half an hour or so, broadcasting to you from Prairie Fox Studios, way, way up north in good old Canada, right across the border from the Dakotas, if you know where that is. The show is also broadcast or posted for viewing in the archive site on our new studio, Night Moves with the FoxStudio.com. I'm pretty proud of the site. The studio, my producer in the Netherlands, Kitty Cavey, set everything up. Whenever I go to do something like that, pardon the expression, but I always screw something up, so I let the people that got the smarts to do that go ahead and do it. It's a beautiful sunny day up here in Saskatchewan, Canada. We've been getting a lot of our guests as of late from a site called LinkedIn.com. And my guest today for the show, and she will slap me through the screen if I get this wrong. She just corrected me moments ago when we had our little talk before the show. So here we go. The lady who is responsible for KCLA-FM's Dating Advice Girl radio show, Erin Tillman.
Hey, how are you?
How did I do?
Yeah, it was perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Erin Tillman, now you just told me a little bit of inside information from our conversation earlier. This is kind of like Small Town Girl Makes It Big, and I'm just going to kind of like give the listening audience around the world a little bit of a heads up. This is funny how this went. I didn't even know this. You're from small town, I think you said Ohio.
Yes.
And you've traveled to Europe as an exchange student.
My junior year of college. Mm-hmm.
And now you are a dating advice girl on your own radio show in L.A.
That's correct. Yeah, it's kind of just a cool story. I work in TV and film in L.A., and, you know, I've done emceeing of events and a lot of things in front of the camera, television-wise. And, you know, so I do like to perform, and so I actually do also give very good advice, and just certain people I knew in the industry were like, you know, you really should try to do something creative with what you're doing. You have the background of the hosting and the emceeing, but you also give advice, and you also are single, and you're out there dating. I know you've had a lot of fun experiences. Why don't you blog about this? And so I ended up blogging about it, and it caught on. Just people told people, and like you just mentioned, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all those things have helped me immensely. Like, you know, it's like free marketing. All of those things are such great tools to use, and so just by posting things, people tell people, and yeah, it's grown from there.
Wow. Now, how did you initially, in the first place, how did you get involved with radio and TV?
Gosh. Okay, so back in Ohio where I grew up, in college, I actually started out in wardrobe, doing costumes and that sort of thing for my college wardrobe or college theater department. And so, yeah, I just was always interested in performing and all that kind of thing. And then when I moved to Europe, I worked as a wardrobe girl in the West End in London. And, people kept asking me, they're like, you know, whatever, not to be vain, but they're like, you look a certain way, you have a great voice, you know, have you ever thought about doing stuff in front of a camera or on the stage? And I'm like, well, sort of. I did a little in elementary school or whatever, but I never really took it that seriously. And then when I moved to LA to do wardrobe, I literally was getting more requests to do print modeling and commercials and that kind of stuff than wardrobe. So I kind of got, like, sidetracked by all of that and said, well, why don't I try this out, you know? And so I did, and then, you know, and again, it's one of those things, LA or TV and film is one of those things where you start off wanting to do one thing, and then, you know, people inquire if you want to do other things, or people just they're looking for something specific and they can't find somebody, and they're like, oh, I know this girl who might be really good at this even though she's never done it. And
yeah.
It literally, it's right place, right time, networking, friends, people knowing people, and it built from there, you know.
Well, you've definitely got happiness in your voice. You make a radio personality. I can hear that right now. Now,
Oh, thank you.
there's a lot of people listening that aren't going to possibly know who you are or what you look like, but the voice, they can almost see a happy face on the phone right now.
Oh, that's so nice. I so appreciate that. I am generally, you know what? I am a really happy person, and I think that translates into what I do, and I just think it's like kind of like what you're saying, like people can feel a smile through a phone or, you know, that kind of stuff. It's so important,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah, you're I would imagine that also you would make a darn good TV personality, because to hear the voice and see the face on a TV screen, whatever you were doing, it's just that much more than a radio show.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Now, let's get on to your actual, well, first of all, your dating advice. Now, don't want to get personal here or anything, and I promised you I wouldn't do that when we spoke just before the show started. So I can't get anybody mad at me, let alone you.
But by the way, I don't get too offended by much, so go ahead and ask whatever you need to.
Have you dated a lot?
Yeah, and the thing is, yes, someone tried to get me to put a number on it, meaning how many dates do I think I've been on. Listen, I'm 30 years old. I really haven't kept that for the record. I know, right? I know, I'm giving it all away. It's terrible. But, you know, it's one of those things where I go out regularly. I have had, monogamous relationships here and there. But in general, I'm somebody, and this is another reason why I do what I do in terms of the dating advice, is that I enjoy being single. And so, you know.
Hello?